What's up, Narco? Gang, welcome back to the channel. If y'all not subscribed, you already know what to do. Hit that like button, that subscribe button, hit that bell to be notified for everything that we drop. Today's video is about 5 lies in the Epstein's footage that they dropped recently, gang. Now, I know y'all been updated on what's going on with Epstein in this bullshit situation. Yeah, they missing. We all know that they missing at least 1 minute in that footage, right? A lot can happen in a minute. You know what I'm saying? Like, as far as somebody going inside somebody's cell, dropping off some equipment to get a certain job done. Like, you know what I'm saying? A lot of shit can happen within a minute, bro. And for that to be the case, that opened up a whole can of worms. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get to this video, Narco Gang.
We recreated Epstein's prison in 3D to show you the top 5 lies hidden in the government's footage. And you can get the raw file on Patreon to explore it yourself, and let's jump into it. Lie number 5, you're gonna get a video of the cell.
And you're gonna get the video of the cell. And you're gonna see for yourself.
Kash Patel, the FBI director, told us that this footage was of Jeffrey Epstein's cell, but it's not. Let's fly over to where Epstein's cell actually is. I've marked it with a green door. Down the hall, we actually see a camera marked in red that wasn't recording the night of Epstein's death, which brings us to our next lie. There was only one camera.
There's a video of him.
No, not the actual act, but the entire MCC Bay. It was only one camera.
Deputy Director Dan Bongino of the FBI told us there was only one camera in the special housing unit. But that's not true. There were at least 2 cameras recording and 9 other cameras that were working but not recording due to a malfunction only days earlier. Now, the official report says that recordings should have been made for about half of the cameras, but in Epstein's block, only 2 out of 11 cameras were recording. Really bad luck, I guess. Now, I should say all the cameras were working before that, at a time when Epstein accused his cellmate.
And that's not suspicious to y'all, bro. It just so happened that all of a sudden 2 cameras working out of 11, but right before that, all 11 was like shit like that, bro. Be suspicious as hell. It's like at this point, who was in charge of this whole thing? It's like a domino effect. The camera wasn't working. All, you know what I'm saying? Now you missing a minute out of the shit. And now it's just weird, bro.
Of trying to kill him, and this was contradicted by his cellmate who said Epstein tried to commit. Epstein later got put on watch for this event, and we should have been able to get that footage, except the prison failed to save the correct file. Prosecutors claim the footage contained on—
What the? See, look, more bullshit. Now you forgot to say the correct file. Like, there's got to be a conspiracy behind this shit. At this point, like, it got to be somebody or something, some organization putting these pieces in place. This shit is not just happening by just, you know, by random event. This shit is not random, bro.
The preserved video was for the correct date and time, but captured a different tier than the one where Jeffrey Epstein was located.
It was only one camera.
So our deputy director lied when he said there was only one camera. There were actually—
So we got one suspect. The deputy director, one suspect. We gonna Kash Patel, another suspect. I don't care what nobody say. I don't like Kash Patel. We gonna identify each suspect, and then we gonna investigate their ass. I promise you.
At least 2 were recording, only 1 got released, and according to our own government's report, 5 or 6 should have been recording but weren't. When the cameras were working properly, they didn't save the right files. Incredibly unlucky. But lie number 3, there's nothing unlucky about it, because we were told directly that the footage we were gonna get showed there was no one there but Epstein.
You're gonna see there's no one there but
this
him.
Dude right here.
There's just nobody there. So I say to people all the time, if you have a tip, let us know. But there's no DNA, there's no audio, there's no fingerprints, there's no suspects, there's no accomplices, there's no tips, there is nothing.
The footage just directly debunks this. There are several people who appear in the footage the FBI released, and actually one even appears after lockdown walking up the stairs. The government's report at first called this laundry, but independent experts agreed, according to one analysis by—
See, now that's suspicious, because Epstein was given, or not given, I'm gonna say he was given ripped cloths, like clothing and shit, towels, whatever the fuck it is. So for them to be walking around with laundry, nigga, you a suspect. Cause what was in this laundry bag? You know what I'm saying? Like, what did? Come on, bro. See, they be playing like we stupid, bro.
CBS.
At 10:38 p.m., the report says someone, probably Noel, carries a bundle of bedding or clothing up the stairs.
Noel said they got another name.
The video does catch movement on the stairs, but barely. Let's see that zoomed in and in slow motion again.
Ooh.
Several of the video forensic experts we spoke with were skeptical about the report's conclusion and thought that the video could be showing an inmate walking up the stairs. Authorities say this was the last time anyone approached his cell block until his body was discovered the next morning. Again, while the video does not contradict that, experts who viewed the video say the limited field of view makes it impossible to definitively conclude that no one used those stairs in that time period.
Yeah, we don't know who that is. The government's not clear. And there are also several people who are housed in the same cell block as Jeffrey Epstein, which, as we've shown, isn't visible to the camera footage we were given. So that raises questions, and so do the 2 prison guards who were on staff that night and had a view of Epstein's cell. Both were charged with falsifying records on the night Epstein died, specifically with them lying about completing mandatory rounds to check on Jeffrey Epstein the night of his death, despite a posted warning that read mandatory rounds must be conducted every 30 minutes on Epstein as per God. But they did not do that. Instead,
What?
they appeared to fall asleep, according to the OIG report, and occasionally browse the internet, where one guard, quote, read a news article about Jeffrey Epstein. So it's just a total lie to say there was no one there but Epstein and no possible suspects. You have several inmates shown on the camera the night of his death. You have one walking up the stairs after lockdown, and you also have guards that just falsified records. But this all brings us to lie number 2, the second biggest Pinocchio, and that's where they told us we're going to get the raw footage so we know there aren't shenanigans.
We are working on cleaning it up to make
Nah,
sure you
they
have an
definitely
enhanced
lied on
flavor,
this
and we're going to give the original so you don't think there were any shenanigans.
So yeah, I don't think I need to explain why.
But
this
we
is one of the
missing a
most
minute
crazy
though. But we missing a. How you gonna give us the raw footage with no shenanigans? But we got a whole minute of shenanigans, bro. This is crazy.
lies. We were told we'd be given a modified and the original footage. Instead, what we got are 2 modified videos, because both were edited in Premiere Pro. Now, it isn't clear exactly what was edited, but expert forensic analysts who spoke to Wired said
No,
the
ain't no
footage
way.
in court had 1 minute, no wait, actually 3 minutes missing.
3
Other
minutes?
DOJ has the
3 minutes, nigga.
full footage, but just hasn't released it.
I can eat a whole pizza in 3 minutes. You know what you can do in 3 minutes?
And a government source has alleged to CBS News the FBI and other agencies are in possession of the full, unedited footage.
And that brings us to the final point, the final biggest lie of all, and that's a direct quote from the DOJ memo about what the footage even shows. And it says this, quote, anyone entering or attempting to enter the tier where Epstein's cell was located from the shoe common area would have been captured by this footage. The government's entire case is built on this lie, and that's why it's the biggest, because their whole case for saying no one could have reached him is the idea that this one camera.
Yeah, you ain't got no fucking angle. How you gonna have a? This is a setup. How the fuck you gonna have a camera? How are you comfortable with this? You can't see nobody going up these stairs. Like, come on, bro.
Angle shows everything. But let's put Maxwell in our 3D twin and have him walk up the stairs. First, we'll put him on the left side of the staircase, and as you can see, you can barely make him out. However, if we put him on the right side of the staircase, you'll find that you can't see him at all. He's invisible from our view. So there's just obviously a blind spot here, which, by the way, the government already knew because they already admitted in a previous Epstein report, saying that this camera angle specifically was a, quote, partial view of the L tier stairway. So it's not a full view. You can't see everything. And as you can see in this excellent CBS investigation, you could actually access this stairway and Epstein's cell from a doorway invisible to the camera.
But with the primary entrance here,
Wow.
the pathway from the entrance to the stairs is completely out of view of the camera.
Nah, this is crazy, bro. Come
That's
on.
right. You could access Epstein's cell. Our replication of the prison shows the same conclusion. If we have Maxwell walking from the shoe entrance to Epstein's cell, we can't see him from this camera angle. Even though if we make the walls transparent, obviously we can see him, but in the raw footage, we'd have no way of knowing if somebody walked this direction. This painstaking recreation of the special housing unit can put to bed the top 5 lies from our government about
Yeah,
Jeffrey Epstein.
they put Jeffrey in that cell for a reason, bro. They knew what was going. This is a setup.
1, we didn't get a video of Jeffrey Epstein's cell. We got a camera that can't see it. 2, there wasn't just one camera, there were 11. 3, the footage shows way more than just Epstein. 4, we didn't get raw footage, we got modified footage. And lastly, there are blind spots on this camera. I mean, it's just perfectly clear, and the government has previously admitted it. This, of course, doesn't mean, I have to say, that Epstein definitively himself, but the government is only adding fuel to the fire when they put out statements that are directly contradicted by their own video. The best you can say is this is either extreme levels of negligence or deliberate incompetence to cover things up. The most honest thing you can say at this point is that we don't have definitive evidence for the night Epstein died, one way or the other, that has been released. The evidence we do have has been modified, does not say what they say it says, and all of this makes it impossible to know 100% what has happened. That is not a conspiracy. That's what the government's own evidence actually shows. Now, as I said, we'll make the 3D version of Epstein's housing unit available on Patreon. It's a Blender file.
This is crazy, chat. Like, I don't even understand. Why does these things even are in place? Why the cameras not working? Why the cameras in horrible angle? Like, why you got them in a horrible spot? Why the director's lying? Why the whatever the fuck he is, FBI director? Why he lying? Oh yeah, you're gonna get the raw footage, but then we get edited footage. Why they editing shit in Premiere Pro? Like, it's one thing that y'all camera died or some shit. It's one thing that the power went out and you had to boot the cameras back up for it took 3 minutes for that to happen. It's one thing to have that happen. Even though you got backup generator, there's still arguments for that. But you just blatantly just go into Premiere Pro and start editing shit, bro. That's literally a crime. That should be a crime. That literally should be a crime, bro. This is tampering with evidence. The government is like this. Low key, that's a little bit of espionage on the civil espionage. Cause now you becoming a spy against like, bro. This shit really deep, bro. I ain't gonna lie. That's what it sounded like to me. Like, this shit is some real civil. Y'all know what I'm talking about, bro. I can't, bro. Look, with that being said, I hit the like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell, bro. And we out this That Narco Gang. Peace.